when you're starting a business or launching a new product, these days, most entrepreneurs are impatient. Their business strategy is ready, fire. Oh shit, I forgot to take aim. In 2017, it's easy to start a business. And it's even relatively easy to launch a new product or some sort of service within our business. But building one is even harder. And this week, I'm going to talk to you about when do you stop flogging a dead horse? When do you stop flogging a business or a product that's not working? Morning, Tracy, and good morning, Jody. Welcome, everybody, to JTInTheRaw. Today, I'm also going to share five tips or takeaways that I got from a Facebook ads course that I went to this week. Hopefully that you'll find them super useful. Okay, so today's show is super relevant for anyone in business. Welcome to JTInTheRaw show. I'm going to just spin this around so it's a bit better. So, how's that? Sun's better. JTInTheRaw show 58, where I chew the thin on business. Sun's out, but it's freezing here. Now, I've been running my own business for 25 years. I know I must have only started when I was 1 or 2. So I guess my PE degree is actually now a degree in practical experience in small business and business. In fact, my mum, my dad's mum, and my mum's dad's dad all ran their own business. So I guess entrepreneurship and running your own business is in the blood. Now, I'm standing up today because I've got a bad back. I hurt my back yesterday in the gym when I was training, which leads me to my question of the day. Question of the day is, how many times have you exercised this week? I'm curious. I really want to know, how many times are people training in a normal week? Pop it in the comments below. Leanne, Rim, Tracy, Eugene, put it in the comments below. I want to see a number. How many times have you guys trained this week? It's going to be our question that I'm going to keep coming back to throughout the week, the show today. Jody, how many times have you trained this week? Okay. Thanks, everyone, also for... it's freezing here. Thanks everyone last week for sharing the show and watching the show last week. What was awesome last week was all the classic jobs that everybody said that they did was their first job. Thank you for sharing that. There were some really cool ones, and I think they were all a lot better than my boring one of putting out flyers. There were some cool jobs last week. Thank you. In fact, last week's show 57, if you missed it, has now been viewed 1,200 times. That is a record for a JTInTheRaw show. Woo, woo. Yay. 1,200 times it was viewed. I think it was maybe my rant that got all that. So if you missed the show last week, just put 57 in the comments below and I'll send you the link to the show. It's a rant around the inactivity around the globe of people. So yeah, love you to keep sharing that, keep watching that. Just pop that in the comments below and I'll share it with you. I also discussed last week a bit of a challenge for you, and I'm curious to know if anybody did it. Morning, Feltos. Morning, Alyssa. Morning, Tamara. How are you going? I issued you a challenge to either text, email, or call a friend who you didn't think was active enough, and organise to take them on a 30-minute walk within the next 7 days. That next 7 days obviously finishes this Sunday. I'm curious if anyone did that challenge. Give me a thumbs up if you sent a text and organised, or rang somebody and organised a walk with that person who you think is not active enough. I'm curious to know. Give me a thumbs up if you actually did that. Remember, our question of the day is, how many times have you worked out this week? Timmy Felton, how many times? Alyssa, how many times? Tamara, how many times have you worked out this week? Okay, on with the show. Here it is. I went to, it was a really interesting seminar this week on Facebook ads. I'm going to turn that around a bit more. That's Ooh, is that better? Anyway, and it was only a 2-hour seminar, and in 2 hours I realized simply how much I don't know about Facebook. Oh my God. Tracy Frost, you trained 44 times this week? Are you kidding me? You're a freak! How did you do that? And the whole Facebook thing is a complex beast, and I kept understanding. The more they spoke, I kept understanding. The more I don't understand. It was pretty weird. But what I thought I'd share with you today is just 5 tips that I picked up. So here we go. 67% of people start their shopping experience on one device, but then finish it on another device. And that's why Facebook is no longer just one beast for you. It is a media channel for you in business. Because by using the Facebook pixel on your website, you can then remarket to your prospects multiple times on any device. On any device. So that means I can be looking and researching your website on my phone or my iPad, but then if I'm going to go to purchase or I'm going to book a trial workout, I'll probably do that on my desktop. And therefore your ads on Facebook will come up no matter what device you are on. In essence, the customer journey is they visit your website to learn about your product, And so long as you have the Facebook pixel on your website, you can then retarget those people multiple times, and your goal should be that your prospects think, geez, I see your brand everywhere. I see your brand everywhere. That should be our goal. When designing your online marketing strategy, the key in designing the sequence of what happens online is, if they did this action, what do I want them to do next? If they did this action, what do I want them to do next? That's how we plan the sequence in online marketing. Morning Ben, morning Sean O, and morning Marcelo. How are you, all three of you? Okay, I also learned that you should never ever turn your Facebook ads off, because that has an impact on how Facebook sees you. What you do is you just reduce your spend. Interesting? And also, if you're advertising on Facebook and to a cold audience, like people who don't know you, and you're just putting it out there, like Sean O's here, if he's just marketing on Facebook to all the people in Smeaton Grange, and some of them don't even know who he is, that's what we call a cold audience. So if we're doing that, then we need to ensure in our Facebook ads that we're putting credibility statements. And we must be aware almost no offer to buy or even try our fitness facility or our product will in fact convert. People need to know that you are trustworthy before buying from you. So if you're going to a cold audience, you're much better to be giving away education and information to people so that they begin to trust you. This is the key. Morning Steve Angers, morning Shane, two Anytime Fitness owners. Great to have you guys listening today. But in all honesty, the beauty of Facebook is that it can be so targeted that you don't even need to worry about marketing to a cold audience. You shouldn't need to worry about marketing to a cold audience. So they're my 5 points. Hi Jordan, how are you? There are my 5 points. Give me a thumbs up if you got anything out of those 5 points around marketing around Facebook. It's pretty cool. But as I said, there's so much I didn't know, and I'm still learning. So I'm committed to going and doing some more training around this, because it's an easy way to market your business because it's not super expensive. But most importantly, the key with Facebook marketing is it can be so damn targeted. So that's what I'm pumped up and excited about. So I hope you picked up some points there. Morning, Kerry. How are you over there in the wild, wild west of Western Australia? Okay, so here's where the education starts. Matty Parry, oh, this is like an Anytime Fitness conference today. Okay, now, so far this year, I've noticed that fitness business coaches are multiplying faster than rabbits during mating season. Oh my God, there are so many of them. Every week there's a former gym owner or a former manager or a personal trainer who's now telling the world that they are a business coach. And that got me thinking, how hard is it to really start a business these days? Fucking easy. That's how hard it is. It's fucking easy to start a new business. Seriously, with a couple of taps on the keyboard, a change to your Facebook status, adding a new job on LinkedIn, and voila, you're a business coach. And potentially in your industry, or a category in the fitness industry, it is also just as easy to open a business. When I opened my gym back in 1994, to be competitive, you were spending north of 750 grand. But these days, with functional training, I could open a facility and compete with 15 to 20 grand. It's that simple. I could set up a coffee shop with a hole in the wall, get a barista, get a coffee machine, and boom, there, I'm open. Without any doubt, it is now easier to start a business than ever before. But building a business is when it gets tough. Who agrees with me? Easy to start, much harder to build. Hit like if you agree with me. Morning, Peter, or as they say over there in the land of the long white cloud, kia ora. How are you? Okay, so do you agree with me? You agree that it's easy to start a business, but it's much harder than to build a business? And we can extrapolate that even further. To launch a new product or a new service within our business is really bloody easy, but it's really hard for it to become successful. Do you agree that it could be a business or a product or a service that we're launching in our business? So what are the steps that we need to go through then before we actually stop and think this new product, this new service, or even this new business actually isn't even working? At what point do we stop flogging the dead horse? And I want to give you 3 steps to consider when you're launching a new product in your business. Step number 1 is that we need to separate the service from the people. Because if you or someone in your team is emotionally tied in to this new product or this new service or this new whatever business, they may keep frenetically pumping fresh blood into a corpse that should have been laid to rest days, weeks, months ago, just simply to justify their job. So as the leader of the business, it is absolutely critical that communication now kicks in. We need to understand right from the beginning with our team and teach them and help them understand that it's not about them on why that new product might be failing, and it doesn't have an impact on their job. So that way that they'll be more honest with you and give you more positive feedback or honesty, which actually takes me to step number 2, which is give your team permission to raise red flags. You see, if your team fears that speaking ill of your idea will irk you, will piss you off, then they're going to keep quiet. You're going to have no idea of the true position of that new service or that new business or how they feel. So it's critical that you as the leader encourage your team to give you open and honest feedback rather than keeping the bad news under wraps. If you want to know how your business is really traveling, you've got to know. And step number 3 is define a line. Prior to launching a new business, prior to launching a new product or service, we've got to set objective assessments, objective milestones that the business or service must hit. See, because we get so tied in emotionally, we lose our pragmatism and we don't make business decisions. So you need to set some clear numbers, some clear parameters, some clear return on investment and expectations that you have when you're launching this new product or service. And why am I speaking about this today of all days? Well, this week I've spoken to a number of fitness business owners and small business owners who've asked me, at what point do I stop trying to make something work when it's not working? For example, in a personal training, in a gym business, fitness businesses around the planet, we roll out personal training, small group training, nutritional services, merchandise sales, massage, life coaching, or any other service to build a secondary income. Morning, Willie Miller. Hang in there. I'm going to give you a wrap shortly, big guy. They are supposed to be profit centers, but in fact are cost centers to the business. And I'm sure many of you guys from other industries also try to set up profit centers in the business. So you know exactly what I mean. And the question is, how long as a business do we keep driving these profit centers when they're not actually making profit? You see, as the business leader, you are responsible. So you have to have the discipline to have an objective evaluation of your new service or your new product, or indeed your business if you want to be successful. Being a leader can be tough. You cannot be emotional. You have to be objective when launching a new product or service within your business. Now, if you ever want to talk to me about determining what that success of a profit center might look like, just message me. I'm happy to have a chat with you and see where that sits. But I want you to really consider that when you're launching new things. How long do we flog that dead horse to make it work when really it should have been passed away weeks, months, perhaps even years ago? Give me a thumbs up if you find this a useful concept and discussion point that we should be having in our businesses, but we often don't. So my goal today, by bringing this up and making you aware of it, is for you to stop. For you to stop what you're doing. For you to analyse and for you to think. Thanks, Eugene. Thanks, Benny, for those thumbs ups. Appreciate that. I want you to stop and I want you to think and I want you to analyse before opening a new business. Hey, Matty Wright, how are you this morning or this evening for you? Before rolling out a brand new service, I want you to do the appropriate due diligence. Remember, starting a new service, starting a business is easy, but building that service, building that business is really where the hard work begins. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you like what I'm saying? Can you hear what I'm saying? How long do we flog that damn dead horse for? The answer is when you know the answer, how long do you keep flogging that dead horse? Then you must stop it instantly. You just can't keep flogging it because it's a waste of headspace and a waste of resources in your business. Whew. Little bit of education there this morning. No rants, just some education for you guys. All right, what's happening over the next 7 days for me and active management? My goodness, there's a lot happening. People will probably tune out now. They won't be interested in what I'm up to. But I want you to get your thumb ready or your forefinger ready on the wow face. Don't give me a thumbs up. Don't give me a love heart. Give me a wow face when I tell you what I am up to. Hey, Chris Stevenson, how are you this morning? Or it's this afternoon where you are in the US. Hope you're doing great. All right, here we go. I want a wow face for these things. Show 118 on the Fitness Business Podcast is with Bedros Keuilian. I don't even know if I said his name right, and it's a cracking show. It's one of the best shows that I've heard this year. Hey, Kelly, how are you? If you haven't listened to it and you're a PT, you're just dumb because Bedros is just a guru apparently around the world. Until I heard him speak, I wasn't sure, but now I've heard him speak, he is good. So if you haven't listened to that show and you want the links, just put 118 in the comments below and I will send you the links to that show. It is an awesome show. What else is later today? later today. I know Chantel is on the show. She's going to be publishing the retention series intensive, number 3 with Paul Brown, and it comes out later today, and it is awesome. This is the best so far of the 3 shows. There's one more to go next week, but it is a dead set cracker. Paul drops some absolute knowledge bombs there. So again, if you haven't seen that, put in 119 in the comments, and when that comes live today, I'll send it to you, and that's awesome. Hey JP, how are you this morning? Thanks Tamara, thanks Steve for putting 118 down. I've got 5 coaching clients in the next few days, including a couple of new ones. I'm catching up with, who's on the line today? JP. Catching up with JP on Monday from Tribe Team Training in North America. We're going to be catching up. We're going to chew the thin, and then we're going to go into a spin class together. Catching up with Tony the Lead from Fit and Fast, and also Jules. Having to catch up with Jules from Exercise New Zealand next Thursday, talking about FitX. Heading over there to New Zealand to speak at the conference at the end of November. So we're going to be talking about what the Fitness Business Podcast and Active Management can do as part of FitX later this week, which is pretty exciting. I've got a meeting next Wednesday, briefing a brand new client with their 12-month marketing plan. Can't wait to do that with you, Maddie. Looking forward to that. And to coincide with the launch of my latest ebook, The Hottest Tips for Video Live Streaming, that comes out on August 28th. To coincide with that, I am the guest on show 120 on the Fitness Business Podcast. Yay! Pays to be the sponsor, I guess. Next week I'm on the show, and I'm going to be sharing a whole bunch of tips around video live streaming. Plus, I've got a very special giveaway. So make sure you get across to www.fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, subscribe to the show notes so that you can find out what the special giveaway is next week on the show. And as you may know, I am a rugby mad, and he was on earlier, he's probably gone now. Will Miller is the captain of our team at Norths, and we play Eastwood on Sunday for a position in the grand final. So it's a big weekend for me as our 4th grade and our 1st grade teams both vie to make the grand final. So it's a pretty big week. And amongst all of that, morning Susan, how are you? I've still got to try and work out, still going to try and train. Hopefully my back will hold up all right when I get to the gym later today. So for our latecomers, our question of the day is, in the comments below, our question of the day is, how many times have you worked out this week? That's what I want to ask. That's what I want to know. How many times have you worked out this week? Pop that in the comments below, whether you're watching this live or on replay. Okay, so before I finish, you know how I always finish every JT in the Raw show. Here it is. Are you ready? Are you set? Quote of the week. Starting a new service is easy. Building that service to success is where the hard work really begins. Starting a new service is easy. Building that service to success is where the hard work really begins. Hey, thanks for tuning in to JTInTheRaw Show 58. I really appreciate all your support. Thanks for engaging in the comments throughout the show, whether you're watching it live or on replay. I appreciate it. And if you think anybody could get value out about learning those Facebook ad tips or finding out about how long do we flog a dead horse for, please put their names in the comments below. I'd love you to share the show because that increases my reach and I really get to impact some people around the world. So thank you for joining me today. You have an awesome weekend wherever you are in the world. Go the North boys in rugby. Go the Wallabies against the All Blacks. Have an awesome day. Catch you guys later.